All right, so at this point, I've got an assembly and some exploded views and that sort of things. I've done some changes to my parts, making sure I have names, making sure I have materials and that sort of thing. Now I'm ready to do the first sheet of a technical drawing. So what I'm going to do is create a new drawing, and a drawing can be multiple pages. I have a custom template that I made. You should have done one too. So I'm going to use this custom A size drawing, okay? If you don't have one, I will make a video available for you to make a drawing with. The ANSI standard drawing has a very large title block, so this is what mine looks like. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to assemblies, and I want to do my demo assembly is the one I want to insert here. So for my view orientation, I made a custom view called ISO A. Okay, so I'm going to use that as my view orientation. And then I also want to insert the same thing, and this time we're going to do a exploded view. So we're going to choose explode 1 and go over here. And I want my view orientation to also be ISO A. So we're going to put this over here. And it's thinking, okay, a couple of other changes. Right click on this. I want to show and hide, and I'm going to show shaded view on both of these. Right click, show and hide, shaded view. So now I have my assembly and I have my exploded view. Let's drag that over a little bit because we're going to add some labels in just a moment. Next thing we want to do is find the bill of materials button, BOM table. We're going to click on that. And let's just drop it here and get it the right size and shape. That looks pretty good. So I've got the names, everything's, what I like to see is everything needs to be on one line. Sometimes you have to move stuff around. So I'm going to grab this corner right here, and that's going to let me move it. And I want to real carefully put this here. One of the things I want to point out is this part of the modeling can be really demanding on the computer. So if you're having trouble on your Chromebook, go get on the lab computers because they have a video graphics processor that'll make this go a lot more smoothly. All right. Right here I have this terrible name, Drawing 1. I'm going to right click on that and rename it. Demo system something. I would give it a name that makes more sense. And if you look at this, everything's updating here. I have my assembly, I have my name. If you didn't connect those as variable fields, you just type in what you need. There's not going to be that many. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use these little bubbles. And we're just going to go and click. Let me zoom in on this. We're going to click on the edge, click on edges, and just go out. Click on an edge, go out. Click on an edge, go out. So what we're doing is we're just making a little cloud around this part. So I'm going to click on an edge, go out, click on an edge, go out. So we just want to go all the way around the part doing this until we have all the parts labeled. Here's an edge. Usually you make them at angles, not like straight up and down lines. Okay. So now when we look at our exploded view, we can find 1, and 1 is called the large arm, 2 is a large arm pin, 3 is the lower grip, so you can relate the names to what it is. Now, normally what you would do is go in and start adding these in the order they list here, okay? So we're going to open the Sheets tab, and then we're going to add a sheet. So according to this, I would need to add the large arm. So I'm going to insert a sheet. And let's do a real quick top front right of the large arm. So I'm going to hit that. And I'm going to choose to insert not the whole assembly this time, but I want the large arm. And we're just going to go with the front view. Bam. There's the front view. So ANSI standard says do top, front, and right. So we're still in projection mode. So we are going to click the top, and then I click this again, and then go to the right. Let's scoot over a little bit so I have some space for some measurements. And then I'm going to click the front view one more time and make an isometric here. Okay. Once I have my views, my top, front, and right views placed, we're going to hit escape a couple of times and then right click on this and show and hide as a shaded view. All right, so this is normally how you would present a part. You would show the top and the front and the right. This is not a very interesting part, but this is going to let you do some interesting measurements, like we're going to click on this measurement tool. We might just do, let's see, some things like what's the radius of this? We might do the diameter of this. We might do, I would like to see some overall lengths and widths, but with this shape, it's a little weird. So I would also want to know the thickness. So let's go over here and just grab this little line here and go up and then go over. I need to rearrange that a little bit. That's not a good way. So we're going to move the number over to the side. So normally you try to get your measurements to be in between the parts. Very rarely do you go outside unless there's no other way to do it. Most of your parts are going to be able to do like an overall, like top to bottom, left to right measurement. That's not going to be real easy with this one unless let's just do it over here. So we can show the overall width from here to here. And I'm going to try to get that centered. And the overall height from here to here. And like that, okay? So that's one of those. So that's going to be our first part. So if you look at our order, if you wanted to rename these, you could do that and just call it large arm. And if we go back to the sheet one, we can see the next one would be the pin, large arm pin. So let's go do that one. And this one only needs a top and a front view, or a front and a side view. No, it's not. The side won't work. All right, so what we're going to do is choose insert. Let's get the large arm pin. Okay. And the view I want is probably not that one. If we would just drop it right there, it's going to be a circle. Okay. That's not what I want for the front. So if I double click that, I want that to show me the left. No, top. Let's look at it from the top. What does that look like now? That's what I want to see. Another thing too, see how small this is? Let's adjust the scale. Let's do 1 to 2, and that will make it a lot bigger. And then now we can do projections from that. So I'm going to treat this like the front. Now we're going to do our projections. And really all I need is this. I need to see the top from that, and then I need to see the isometric. And based on where you place it, that's where how it knows what to do. So we have a top and a front, and then an isometric. Press escape a couple of times to get out of projection mode, and then we're going to do show and hide. We're going to show a shaded view. And then if we want to do some measurements, if you're talking about circles and arcs, do the ones where it's where you see it. Don't describe circles and arcs with linear measurements. So there's a diameter there. I usually work from the outside to the inside and kind of line them up like this. These leader lines need to be angled when you're showing these. Then for our drawings, if you want to do datum, feel free. Let me do a datum example. You pick one end and you work your way from one end to the other. So I'm going to go from here to here. This is my shortest measurement. And I'm going to click right there. And then I'm going to go from the same point here to the next one here, go to the right side of that. And then I'm going to go one more from here to here and go to this side. And I want that to be in the center. I'm going to hit escape. I want this number to be in the center. So normally how you do this, you go from the smallest measurement to the largest measurement, so that makes it tidy. However, for the purposes of our drawings, if you just did the overall height, that would be fine. So this measurement by itself would be plenty if you just did that. Don't do both, okay? So I'm going to hit escape and undo that last one. Don't show the same dimension more than once. That's bad form. I would rather you have just a few, because really you're not going to machine these. We'll 3D print them probably. If we do need to send it to a machine shop, we will go through and do your details a lot more. So let's take a look at what we have. We have 3 pages. We have our front page, and we have our first 2 drawings, one that does top, front, right, and one that does, oh, these are not in the right order now. This one needs to be after. Okay, so you can drag them around and move them as needed. So this one just shows top and front. This is normally what you do with circular items. And this one shows top, front, right, which is normally what you do with more complicated items. This is a really terrible example. So that's what we need to do there. Okay, how do you make this into a PDF that you can share with people? So I'm going to right click on this and we're going to export. And we want to say this is a PDF and that looks like a good set of settings. Export it and it says it's being prepared. You'll see a notification. What it normally does is it's going to put a PDF in here at the end. Export that. There it is. Demo system. Yay. We have a PDF. I'm going to save it. And then that's what you can use to share your drawing with folks. Thanks for watching. Bum, ba, da, bum.